There is a blessing in the burden. There is a blessing in the burden. There is a blessing in the burden. That's what I want to talk to you today about. I got my handy dandy notebook, but I wrote down some notes about there's a blessing in the burden. That was my meditative morning walking thought today. I want to do a video about it. Most blessings bring on burdens. I could be blessed, or my parents right now have been blessed with a brand new home. So now they have the burden of making that home as comfortable as possible for them. They don't have to do anything to the home per se. I want to put a storage unit in the garage so they can put stuff that they would like to store, like their Christmas holiday things and different things that they want to store. So it's a burden in getting that put together. It's a burden in them unpacking their things from their previous home that they were in for 30 years. So they have the burden of unpacking all of this stuff into their blessing. My mom's bathroom. This is where this thought first originally came to me from. As I'm living with my parents right now, I consider it a blessing and a burden to take the responsibility of cleaning the bathrooms and doing all the laundry on Fridays. So Friday when I went to my mom's bathroom, she has a huge bathroom with a jacuzzi in it. Not only that, the shower goes from the floor to the ceiling with huge windows or huge window doors, or doors with windows, whatever you want to call it. So the burden of me cleaning that jacuzzi and that shower is almost gruesome. I'm like, my back hurted for like 2 or 3 days. So my brother said he's gonna hire a cleaning company to come out here once a week to just clean the house. So I'm waiting to get that started. Hopefully to get started before this Friday, where I have to do the process all over again. It may be a burden, but it's a blessed burden. It's an honor for me to do that for my parents. So blessings come with burdens. And say, for instance, when I buy a car, well, I probably won't be buying any car myself anytime soon, so I don't have driving privileges. But when you buy a car, it's a blessing to have a car to own it. But the burden is going to come when you're going to have to buy gas for that car, when you're going to have to get an oil change, when you're going to have to get tire rotations, when you're going to have to get what they call a tune-up, or change the tuning belt, getting a car wash. Just come to the maintenance of this blessing may be a burden at times. So there's a blessing in the burdens. And another thing, people can tend to hate you just to be blessed. I wrote that down in my handy dandy notebook because I have what I think she used to be a friend. Now I don't want to put in the category of still calling her a friend, not. Because this person has been through she's been through an awful lot. So we became friends, and I believe our friendship came about through trauma bonding. I really do. Because she was going through a lot at the time, and I happen to have been going through a lot at the same time. Nah. And I think our trauma bonding is what caused us to be friends. Anyway, this was when I was running. So a few times she had asked to borrow some money from me. And every time when I had the money, I would just send it to her. She has never paid me back for any of the times I allowed her to borrow money from me. Now, most of my family and friends know when you borrow money from me, in your contact, in my phone, is your name and the amount of money I've allowed you to borrow. So when you call me and ask to borrow money from me again, my phone automatically reminds me, hey, this is, and my phone announces your name when you call me, just in case. And I set that up just in case my phone is in my bedroom, I'm in the bathroom with somebody, so I can hear who's calling me. If it's a member or one of my 3 kings, I'll stop whatever I'm doing to answer. But if it's somebody else, I just let it ring and get to it, and I'm done doing whatever I'm doing. Anyway, so if you've ever borrowed money from me, you've never borrowed money from me, so this don't relate to you. But I can say your name because you know how I am. Your name, it'll say Frida. I'm just gonna use mine on. It's gonna say Frida. It can say $100. That's literally what it'll say, Frida, $100. I remove the amount once you have paid me back what you owe me, but I feel you have owed me. But because I knew this friend was going through so much at the time, I never put a dollar amount by her name because I counted a pleasure to be able to help someone, do something for someone who at the time I knew was not able to do that for me. So I never put a dollar amount. And I believe it was a total of exactly 3 times this person has asked to borrow money from me, and I've allowed them to borrow it. Now, I'm not upset that they did not pay me back. That's not the part that upset me. That's not the burden out of being able to be a blessing to her. The burden came maybe because of my mental diagnosis, it's in my medication. Man, I'm viewing this different now. You let me know if I'm wrong. The communication ended, and it wasn't on my part. I text and DM'd this person a couple times just to say, hey, you okay? What's up? What you doing? You good? Just to do what I normally do. Now, I'm a friendly person, but I wouldn't consider myself to be a friend. I like to keep my group small because I like to keep the energy around me small. And most of the energies that I like to keep around me are energies that are doing better than I am. If I really believe if I'm around 4 broke people, that's going to make me the 5th one. So I like to be around those energies that are going to bring me up to a level I want to be spiritually, emotionally, physically, and all of that. That involves with that type of energy. So anyway, and the communication stopped. So that's when me being a blessing to her, I also consider being a burden to me. I'm like, wow, I've allowed you to borrow money from me, or I allowed myself to allow you to borrow money from me. Even though you used the word borrow, I never even expected or wanted the money back. Now, I never told her any of this stuff because you never know if she would have won the lottery the next day or whatnot. But anytime she asked, and she even sent me a Cash App request at one point. And she just sent me a Cash App request, and I fulfilled that request because I knew the situation she was in. So, filled the request. Didn't hear nothing from her. A thank you or anything. No, nothing. So, excuse me. I was like, well, I hope she's doing okay. And this particular individual used to be in a women's shelter. I mean, she's been through a lot. So, even in that, I didn't even consider it a offense or anything. But I'm seeing this person now constantly on social media, posting stuff. Seems like she's doing well. I don't take what I consider on social media to really be people's authentic selves. That's why I try not to edit anything out. If I do, I edit things to my videos, but I try not to edit anything out. I try my best to be as authentic as possible. If anything is ever cut out of my videos, it is because Nana or someone else has gotten to my video and was like, no, we cutting this out. Because normally I send Nana my videos before I post them, because her energy is way better with social media than mine. I don't videos to Nana to edit them at all. Once I send my videos to her, it's because I have completed my video and I like for her to watch it because she does give me good feedback, which I have implicated in my videos. And that's the only reason why I say I'm talking to Nana, because out of most of my subscribers, I know she has viewed most of the videos that I've ever publicly published. So I'm not just saying Nana because she's an ex-girlfriend and a current good friend. I'm saying Nana because I'm literally talking Nana in my videos. And I got her permission to use her name, so she's cool with that. So I have no idea if she is in a relationship. If she is, I mean no disrespect to your relationship. She hasn't said anything. I got permission, but if that ever changes, then I will stop using her name. I don't want to do anything to disrupt anything she has going on in her person. So the burden, me being a blessing, has caused the burden of me possibly losing a possible great friendship, and I still don't know why, but it's another reason to give me to stop allowing people to borrow money from me, even when my intentions were purely good. If it wasn't, I would not have even brought it up in my video. But I've never experienced anything like it's like I've done to them. It reminded me, I remember Ricky Smiley, some comedians say something. They said, when you somebody asked to borrow $20 from them, and they gave him the $20 but didn't pay him back, so he asked him about the $20, and they was like, I'll give you your little $20 back. And he was like, it wasn't no little $20 when you asked to borrow it. It's amazing how people have changed. It's crazy. But that's why I wrote in my handy dandy notebook that a blessing can be a burden when it comes to friendships if it's not handled properly, and people can hate you just because you're blessed. I don't know if this individual hates me now and doesn't want to communicate with me anymore because I have it to them. I don't know if they just feel embarrassed now. I don't know the reason why they've cut off communication, but if they happen to see this video, I just want them to know I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I pray that you're doing very well and got your feet on the ground and doing very well. And I'm for you if you ever decide to reach back out to me. I wish you the best. But to be honest, if you ever ask to borrow money from me again, I think my answer will be a no. Just because I don't want to emotionally go through what I feel you have emotionally put me through. And maybe it's at expense because I have issues with my emotions. I don't know. I feel like blessing, there is a blessing in the burden, because I feel like you can't have one without the other. Whatever blessing you're going to receive, I'm going to receive. It's going to be some form of burden attached with it. And even the burdens I may be going through right now, the burden of staying home with my parents, the burden of not being able to take care of my King 3 the way I want to. Even though through the burden, it is a blessing, because the blessing is that I have a family that I'm able to go to while I'm going through this burden. When I know other friends who don't have that opportunity. The blessing is I happen to have a very successful ex-girlfriend who happens to make over 6 figures annually, works for a great company, has a master's degree. So she has the resources to take care of my King 3. And we exchange holidays. So he was with me for Thanksgiving. Right now, my King 3 is up in the mountains, the snow-capped mountains somewhere, and with ski resort. And he went snowboarding yesterday. And he's gonna ice skating. He showed me his ice skating shoes, whatever you call them. And he's having so much fun. Every time I talk to him, he's so happy. And him being happy brings me happiness. Okay? You know, it could be a blessing in having a job. It could be a blessing and a burden. Most of us need a job and are blessed when we receive our paychecks every 2 weeks. But it also could be a burden with dealing with working with unlike-minded people. There's only one of me, there's only one of you. So we're not gonna ever go to a workplace where there are other people involved and everybody think the same way and act the same way. Most of the people we probably would ever work with are gonna have an issue of being raised differently, or have religions, having different political parties, having different philosophies, different ways of thinking. All that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the burden may be involved with you just figuring out how to deal with this situation the best way possible. And the blessing will become, the blessing will be manifested once you figure out the best way to have the outcome out of the best situation possible at this working environment. And the burden is figuring that out, because even though I said it the way I said, I try to say it slowly, because the blessing is going to become in the outcome of that, but the burden, the work that you have to put towards that happening, is going to be a process. Going to school, lesson to be able to go to school, to pay for school, to be in school. Guess what the burden going to be? Doing all the work required, the reports, passing the tests, dealing with a teacher who may not be able to teach in a way that you may understand. Some people learn more visually. Some people learn more tactically. Some people learn more by reading. We all have different reading, different ways of learning. And if you have if you ain't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. But if you have a different way of learning different things, then the burden might be in the type of teacher that you have. You're going to have to adapt your learning skills to their teaching skills, which is going to be a burden, but the blessing will be the outcome of you receiving that degree. I am blessed to have a bachelor's degree in psychology with the minor in management and leadership. I was in the process of getting a master's degree in policy. I can't even remember. Something with public policy management. I was in the process of getting a master's degree in public policy management because I wanted to be a chief of police one day. My previous employer has totally taken that desire and that taste of anything in law enforcement out of my mouth. I don't know if it's a reason behind that, but that's where I am right now. But I stopped my master's program. I stopped everything when my wife, who's no longer physically active, when she got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, I stopped everything because I wanted my full attention to be on her, besides me keeping a job for financial reasons. But I didn't go back because it was emotional for me. I sent now the school that I went to, they understood what I was going through. So they said, whenever you're ready to come back, you don't have to worry about taking these classes over again or getting requisites. They said, we'll allow you to finish where you stopped at. But she transitioned in 2016. It's now 2023. I do not know if this school will still hold the deal that they made with me back then, because it's been too long, nor do I desire to inquire. Because the thought of me going back to finish that master's degree that I gave up for her brings back traumatic, emotional memories and experiences for me. So that desire has gone too. But there's a blessing in the burden, okay? And there's also, you could take your burdens and let them become blessings, okay? So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for turning on that notification bell. Thank you for liking. Please leave a comment with your complaints or concerns or your contributions in the comments. I would really appreciate it. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. All is well. Remember that love is all there is.